Hi, I'm Lisa from Everything Nice for Dolls. I make 18-inch doll clothes for American Girl dolls. And in today's video, I thought that I would show you how to make a label to sew into the clothes that you make, whether they be clothes for yourself or clothes for your business, or just like me, that I put all of my doll clothes have a label in them. And so I thought that I would show you how I make those labels. Now, first of all, if you'd like this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe. So in just a little bit, I am going to show you how I make the labels for my doll clothes. Now, I'm going to have to do this like in two different parts because it takes a little bit of time. It's not that hard, but it just takes a little bit of time. The material has to dry, and it's just certain steps that you have to do. So these are the labels that I use. These are the labels. This is how I make them, put them in my doll clothes. Okay, so I'm going to show you that in just a second, so stay tuned. All right, now, first of all, you will need to gather your materials together. I am using a sheet of 8.5 by 11 sheet of cotton material that I have already cut out. Now I used a sheet of normal paper to make a pattern, and then I just cut it out with a rotary cutter. And also you will need, this is Bubble Jet Set 2000. This is the best stuff to use when you're printing on fabric. Now, there are some videos that I have found where all you have to do is you cut out your material, you iron it onto freezer paper, then print it out. That's it. And then you cut the labels out. Well, I've tried that before. It did not work very well because the ink just did not set. With this way, the ink does set and you get a really good, nice label. So you use this, and I'm going to show you in just a minute how you do this. Then the other thing is the Bubble Jet rinse. This you use after you have already used the Bubble Jet Set 2000. You rinse this afterwards. The next thing you want to have on hand is you want to have some freezer paper. Okay, you can find this in grocery stores, in Walmart, like Walmart. And now as far as the Bubble Jet Set, I think that you can find it on Amazon. I will link that down in the description area for you. And then I just use a little Pyrex pan. You could probably use something else. It depends on, I mean, I'm only using one sheet at a time. So I think this will be enough. Okay, so, the other thing that I meant to say, you also need to get some rubber gloves. So I'm going to get my rubber gloves and put them on in just a second. Okay, so I'll be right back as soon as I get my gloves. Okay, now I'm back and I have my gloves on. This is very important because you don't want to irritate your skin. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my Bubble Jet Set 2000. I'm going to open it up and I'm just going to pour some of it in here. Now you just need enough to be able to saturate the material. And to save on this, I usually, after I have already gotten the material saturated, I will take this and I will use a funnel. I'll reuse it. You know, I'll just take a funnel and pour it back in there. So now what you want to do is you want to take your material and you want to put it in here and just get it really, really soaked in here. Really saturate it really well. Okay. And then you're going to wait. You're going to let that soak. I'm going to take my gloves off now. You're going to let that soak for 5 minutes. Okay. So I'll be back after 5 minutes. All right. I'm back now and I have more gloves on because now it has already been 5 minutes. And now all you have to do is you just squeeze out the excess bubble jet set, and I'm going to set this over to the side, and then you just want to set this out and let it dry. Okay, it's just you just need to let it dry. I'm just trying to smooth most of the wrinkles out. It will be ironed, so no need to worry about that. But I'm just going to set it out like that and then let it dry. It'll just have to dry like overnight. And then, I'm going to, like I said, you can take the rest of this that I have left. See, I have a lot of left over. And you can just put it back into the bottle. Now, after it dries, you can take this and you will cut a piece of freezer paper to fit the size of your material, your fabric, okay? So you will do that. And then pretty much I have to show you the rest of it tomorrow because this has to just sit here and dry. So while that is doing that, then like I said, I will be back tomorrow to show you the rest. So you will just cut out the freezer paper and then you will iron it onto this. So I will show you all of that tomorrow. Okay, so until then, I will see y'all after that. All right, and now it's the next day and my fabric here is already dried. And so what I am going to do next is I am going to iron the fabric onto a piece of I've already got it cut out, my freezer paper. So what you want to do is you want to put, it's got two sides. One is the shiny side. You can kind of see that it's shiny. And the other one is like just a plain flat matte side, a paper side. So you want to put the shiny side down. You want to iron onto because the shiny side is a plastic coating. You don't want to iron on that side. You want to iron on the paper side. Okay, so I am going to take iron and I'm going to iron this paper onto my fabric. Okay, now I have got my iron set at a cotton setting and I have got the steam turned off. Okay, because you don't want steam because you don't want to get the paper wet. Okay, so I'm going to just let it put it down there and kind of let it heat up for a little bit, and then I will go ahead and iron this down. So, in just a little bit, it doesn't really take too long, and I will iron this down, and it will melt the plastic. That's the reason why you don't want to iron on the plastic or the shiny side, because that would stick to it would melt onto your iron. It would stick. So don't ever do that. So I am just Taking this a little bit at a time, going all over it, all over the whole thing. I'm ironing it and making sure that I get all the edges really good. And once I get this fully ironed, then it will be ready to print. Now, when you, before you start to use it to print, you could kind of heel up a little, see if it's stuck. And it looks like one corner of it may not be, so I'm going to go over that again, because I want to make sure it's really stuck on there well. Okay, because you don't want it coming off when you're trying to print it. When you're trying to print it off. Okay, so once I have it on really good, then I will be ready to print, and I will show you that in just a second. Okay. Sometimes I even go over the cloth side to get it just really smooth. Sometimes I will do that. Just go over the cloth side really, really good. It could be a little wrinkled from where you let it, you know. So now that's all of that. So I've got that part done. Okay. So I will show you the rest of what else I do in just a second. All right, now I'm back. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start printing my labels off of the paper that I have already put onto the fabric. So I use Avery.com for my labels. Now you can use whatever software that you use. This is just what I do, and I have a logo. That's what I use. That's what I do. I print off my logo. So I am going to just go ahead and I'm going to select that, and I'm going to select print. And so now I put the paper into the my printer. I put it paper side up and the fabric side down, but you do whatever you usually do for your Now it is already up. I have my all my logos. Now you don't see any lines, but I just usually take and measure. Now I'm going to select print. And in just a little bit, it will print off. I'm just waiting for it to start to print. Okay, now I'm going to hit print, and let's just hope that this does not jam up. You know, one tip might be you might want to, if there's any strings on the side of the fabric, it would be a good idea to try to cut those off so that it does not cause a jam or anything. But a lot of times it works out okay. It will print. So we're going to see if this is going to print right. So crossing my fingers, I'm hoping that this will do it. So nothing's going on just yet, but hopefully it will start to print pretty soon. Okay, now I am done. I already printed it off, and see, it did great. Nothing jammed or anything. The only thing was it kind of did double on the, kind of messed up on the end. But if I hadn't have, I don't know why I shut my laptop down when in the middle of it starting to print. I shouldn't have done that. But anyway, it did a great job. And now I'm just going to I let it kind of dry before I start doing the rinsing. You can just take the paper and just peel it away. It'll just peel away. And now you're left with the fabric. If you see that, you're left with the fabric that has printed. These are my label, my logo. And then I will show you what I usually do next. Okay, so I will take this. I will just take that and throw it away. Okay, then the next thing that I do, and you know, you can do whatever, but the next thing that I do is I will actually cut the labels apart. Okay, all right, I'm going to get my materials to do that. Now I have my ruler and I have my my rotary cutter. These were some of the things that I talked about in those tools that you need. I did a video on that. So I'm just going to kind of line this up and I'm going to cut straight across, or at least try to cut. Anyway, straight across. Okay. So sometimes I have to go over it a little bit more. I can't always cut all the way through. Okay. Now then I will take my ruler again to cut out, and I try to get mine. I'll cut like this, cut that off, and then I'll cut it this way because I don't like mine being really big, because because like I said, I use them in my doll clothes, and so I don't really want them to be really, really, really big. So I will usually, so sometimes I have to anyway turn it off. But you can kind of see how you can do labels for clothing, and you know, you can make it any size that you want to make it. Okay, so I think Avery.com is a pretty good place because it has all different kinds of templates that you could use, you know. And so then I will just I'll do a couple of these. And then after I have done all the labels that I want, I will, after this ink has kind of dried on here, I kind of let it sit for a few minutes to let it kind of dry. And then I will take this bubble jet rinse and I'll just put it in a bowl or something, and then I will rinse it in there. That way you're rinsing off the stuff that you're rinsing this bubble jet set. You're rinsing that stuff off of there. Okay. All right. Now I am ready to rinse my labels. And I usually, the instruction says a cap full. I use a little less than a cap full. Doesn't really take that much, you know. Yeah, kind of put it in a bowl and kind of swish it around. And then I put my labels in there and just kind of swish it around. Okay, and then I will take them out and I'll just take out the labels. I usually will cut my labels first and then I will put them on a towel. I will usually put them on a towel to just kind of dry. I will usually, I will just set them on a towel and kind of blot them, you know. So I'll set them out on a towel and let them dry. Okay. And then, you know, once they're dry, now I didn't cut these out, but I usually the whole piece of fabric and then cut them out, or you could cut them out and then you know, let them dry. So it's either way, it's up to you really. But I usually do cut them out first and then just let them dry. So, and then after they're all dry, then I will take this stuff right here. And I believe this was also in that video. And I'll link that video up in the cards up there. Now this is Fray Check. After they're dry, completely dry, I just will take the Fray Check and I'll just go around, all around the label. That way they will, it won't fray, because if you don't, it will fray. All right, and that's it. That's all I have for you. So I hope that this tutorial was helpful for you. I hope it gave you some good ideas about how to do labels to be able to put in your clothing or your for whatever you use it for, whether you have a business or you just want to do something personal. So tell me down below in the comments what you would use labels for. All right, so I guess that's